Alright, it's Christmas morning. After last week being compelled to do a video about Dolores Cannon, I'm going to call this one my first encounter with lost knowledge researcher Dolores Cannon. I'm going to throw up some dates again. This is something Dolores had to learn before she could proceed in life. August 6th, 1972, the entire planet goes to sleep. August 7th, 1972, great solar flare. Greatest solar flare that ever hit this planet. Then an interesting day happens. On August 12th, 1972, a man approaches me and says, when you get older, you're going to meet this woman. Her name's Dolores Cannon. She's a hypnotist. And this is going to be one of the most important relationships you're going to have your entire life. When you meet her, you have to do everything in your power to help this woman. You're going to teach her. Anything she needs, you will help her. It's the closest thing you're going to have to a soulmate. And I was 8 years old. I was like shocked. What are you talking about? So he explained it like this. Imagine the earth having to incarnate into a woman. This is going to be Dolores Cannon. She's going to bring back some lost knowledge that has been lost for hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of years. And that is what she does. She's a lost knowledge researcher. She's very inquisitive. Knew Dolores since she came out with her book, Convoluted Universe. Not convoluted. Conversations with Nostradamus 1 came out in 1989, and I met her the following year, 1990. Well, jet forward into the future. Oh wait, let's hit August 13th. I did go in here and tried to find some satellite pictures of the Earth. But on August 13th, 1972, it was the sunniest day in the history of the planet. I remember that. All right, as I said, Conversation with Nostradamus came out in 1989. And if you don't know who Dolores Cannon is, this is her. She's all over. You go into Wiki and you try to search Dolores Cannon, they don't have anything up about her. The woman has, I think, 19 books now. 3 of them came out after she died. And books by Dolores Cannon will be coming out for years and years and years. The amount of transcripts and tapes that she has compiled is immense. There is no other hypnotist that, if you took all the hypnotists on the entire planet and condensed them, Dolores Cannon still has more information. And her daughter, Julia and Nancy. God bless them. Hope they keep coming out with these books. All right, let's jump back. So in the mid-70s, I start seeing this woman in my dreams. I'm like, it didn't make sense to me. But I would see her. If you noticed, I did parallel lives and parallel timelines. So I would see this woman in my dreams from the 70s, mid-70s, late 70s. Occasionally she'd be by herself. Sometimes she'd be with her man. Later I'd find out that was her husband. But in the 70s, a majority of the time I seen her was with a woman who had dark, short hair and dark eyes. I find out later that's her friend, Harriet. And they both got into this hypnosis thing and did a lot of work together. Flash forward to 1989. Dolores comes out with Conversations with Nostradamus. And I see her, I think, on a Channel 9 metaphysics program. And all of a sudden, she's talking about her book. And I go, that's the lady I've been seeing in my dreams my entire life. What is this? So I go out. I think I got it from Barnes & Noble. Went out and got Conversations with Nostradamus 1. Brought it home. Couldn't wait to read it. Started reading it. And as I read it, every word in it was like I read it already. Very strange. And So I was like, I got to talk to this lady. Went to the library, tried to find her number. The weird thing is, within 5 to 10 minutes, I had her home phone number, like the hand of God. So I tried to call her once. I think the first time I didn't get anything. Second time, she picks up the phone. I go, yeah, I'm looking for Dolores Cannon. Oh, this is her. Real casual. Like, Dolores, hi, this is James Burrell. I just finished reading one of your books, and it was the strangest book I've ever read. Conversations with Nostradamus. As I read it, every word, I knew what the next word was. It just made no sense to me. I was like, well, I see that you're supposed to be coming out here next year. I used to be a chauffeur in New York, and I know how to get around everywhere. If you'd like, I'll come and pick you up for when you're coming to give your talk to the Edgar Cayce group in New York. And she goes, oh, that's so weird. I just got called by a limo driver, and he offered to pick me up when I come. I was like, oh, that's nice. And I told him yes. I was all right, no problem. I will see you when you give your talk at the Edgar Cayce Foundation or whatever it was. She goes, okay. I said, but just play it safe. I'll give you a call the day before you come out here to make sure everything's still okay, because it's a year away. She goes, all right, no problem. Year passes. It's a day before she's supposed to come out here. I pick up the phone. I call her. Picks it up like in one ring. I was like, hi, Dolores, it's James. No, I know exactly who this is. I was like, oh, all right. I was like, I told you I'd call you the day before you came out just to make sure everything's still good. I'm looking forward to meeting you. She goes, that is so weird. You call right after I talked to the guy a year ago, and he just called me and canceled, and then I hang up with him, and all of a sudden the phone rings and it's you. I was like, oh, I guess that means God wants me to come pick you up. And she laughed about it. I was like, yeah, this will be interesting. Me and you finally meeting. I didn't tell her that I was seeing her in my dreams my whole life. All right. Following day, Dolores comes into LaGuardia Airport. At LaGuardia Airport, she's on the Walmart flight. She comes in, I'm looking around. I don't see anybody in the terminal. Back down in the baggage. And I'm like, did she even come? Did the plane crash? And all of a sudden, I see her walking down the runway. I'm like, all right, she's here. She comes up to me. I walk up to her. I go, hi, Dolores. It's James Burrell. Oh, it's so nice to meet you. She says, I got to go to the bathroom. I was like, all right, no problem. She runs off to the bathroom. She comes back. I go, let me get your bag. You have any luggage? Oh, no, just the carry-on. I'm only here for a couple days and I got to leave. I've been doing this for so long. I was like, all right. So we start walking to the car and talking, and it's a mumble chit-chat. I was like, Dolores, I have been seeing you in my dreams since the 70s. I believe it was your husband I used to see you with. There's a woman that I see you with dark hair and dark eyes during the 70s. I used to see her with you. Oh, that must be my friend Harriet. Well, I don't know. And for some reason, I have something to do with your Convoluted Universe series, and I don't know what it is. I just know for a fact I have something to do with it. And she goes, that's still on the back burner. I've been working on that for years. That's just something I talk about. I says, well, I don't know what it is, but something about a Convoluted Universe, I have something to do with it. Keep walking to the car, a little bit more chit-chat. What else? All right. We get into the parking garage. I'm on the first floor. I was parked pretty close. And we're sitting in the car, and I said, Dolores, what technique are you using? Are you using the cloud method? And immediately she clams up, grasps her hands, starts fiddling with her hands. I was like, what's the matter? You're mad I know what technique you're using? I was like, Dolores, Nostradamus called me the Nexus. I know because it's my job to know. Then I tell her, I was like, Dolores, you're an inventor like me. You invented the best technique of hypnosis that has ever been used. I was like, Dolores, there's more than 6 billion people on the planet at the time. I was like, Dolores, you can't hypnotize them all. Sooner or later, you're going to have to teach what you've invented to other people. It's too important. You know, being an inventor, one of the biggest things about being an inventor is getting your invention out there. So all of a sudden, she thought about it. There was a pause, molded around in her head. This was the first time that somebody had told her, look, you got to teach what you invented. So I set that gear in motion. And we still didn't leave. I was like, Dolores, you've been hypnotizing people for how long now? Since the 70s. I was like, you still don't get it, do you? And she's like looking at me like, what do you mean? I was like, Dolores, there's people that get sick and they go to the doctors, they run tests, and these sick people go days, weeks, months, years. Sometimes they never find out what's wrong with them. It's like, Dolores, when you're talking to the subconscious, after you do your main regression and you bring them back and you're able to talk to the oversoul, you know, the greater higher self, or as Joseph Smith put it, the spirit is an extension of the soul, or the incarnation you're dealing with is an extension of the soul. So when you're able to access this soul that's in a closer place to God, you got to realize, the way I explained it to Dolores, I says, imagine in heaven you being a ball of light, and every tentacle coming out of that ball of light, that cord, that thread that connects into the tapestry, every time the soul incarnates throughout time, it dims slightly because it's experiencing a life. And then I told her, a lot of people are, what is the meaning of life? And the easiest way to put it is, life is nothing but a dream. And I'm going to put a little light bulb over her head. I was like, Dolores, when you're talking to this subconscious, just ask, say, the body that I'm talking to you from, is there anything wrong with it? You know, and that's when the subconscious looks at the body and tells you, all right, this is wrong with it, this is wrong with it. This is what Dolores ended up calling the QHHT, quantum healing hypnosis technique. So the subconscious tells the hypnotist what's wrong with the body. After they do that, this is one thing that everyone doing the QHHT. It's not QHHT, it's James Burrell's healing hypnosis. Dolores Cannon did not invent this, I did, and I gave it to her. The second most important thing after you find out what's wrong with the body is there any dietary? You are what you eat. Dolores never pushed this. I've never heard it. This is one of the most important things. She skipped a step. You have to ask the subconscious, is there anything that's going into this body, smoking, drugs, pharmaceutical, natural, homeopathic, foods, you know, what is going into this body, or what does this body need to be a better body? This is one of the most important things about James Burrell's healing hypnosis. So for everyone in the QHHT community, Dolores left this step out. You have to stick it in. It's the most important one of all. All right. Then we go to the next step. The next step is you're talking to the subconscious and you just ask, is there any way to heal the body? Can you do it? Can the body heal itself? And that's the healing part of it. See, when I met Dolores, this is what she looked like. That was a long time ago. 1990. Oof. All right. What else should I talk about? All right. Then we're talking. I put this healing hypnosis into her. It was never called quantum healing hypnosis therapy. I don't know when she started calling it. It must have been like 2000 or something. It's just healing hypnosis using Dolores Cannon's somnambulistic, I always have trouble saying that, technique of hypnosis. All hypnosis is guided imagery. Using guided imagery, you can do multiple things. Guided imagery is how you channel the spirit. And as I had told somebody one time, I had to make pretend I was Dolores Cannon because something happened. That'll be another talk another time. And Dolores is like, oh, no. Any questions you have? She knew I could handle it. Ask James. He know whatever question you have for me. I can't do it right now. Ask James. And then everybody came and attacked me. And I had told them, I was like, when you do a regression session, it doesn't matter what you want. You could write out all these lists of questions and whatever. It doesn't matter what you want. When you're hypnotized, your soul knows exactly where it's got to go, and that's where you go. You can go anticipating this, but it doesn't really matter because your soul don't care what you want. It cares about what it wants. And that's the best explanation I can give you. All right, then we're in the car. I start the car, and we're pulling out of the parking garage. This was the longest ride in Dolores Cannon's life. This was her wake-up call. This changed her life. I said, Dolores, I think I had already told her about, being told. No, I didn't tell her that yet. All right. I said, Dolores, there's a lot of things I'm about to tell you, and you're going to think I'm crazy, but I don't really care. I says, everything I'm about to tell you is the truth, and they want me to tell you. And then I was a little surprised because now I'm introducing her to they. Before me, she didn't understand they. They are like a combination. She goes, who are they? I was like, well, there's a lot of alien races that watch over our planet, make sure they don't blow us up. There's this spirit world. There's the time continuum from the past and the future. They're all watching over us together. You're going to start dealing with them a lot more. And then I start telling her all these stories, all my secrets. And one story after the next story, after the next story, I just keep telling her. And I'm like, Dolores, Nostradamus called me the Nexus for a reason. You've seen some of the stories up on my YouTube channel already. But the stuff I was telling her was like the most fascinating thing she's ever heard in her entire life. All right, we make it to the New Yorker hotel where a New Life Expo, I think, was taking place, and she was signing books or whatever she was doing. Oh, no. She was doing the New Life and then had the Edgar Cayce a day or two later or something. I drove her to the Edgar Cayce. I drove her to the New Life. I hung out with her and everybody there. But when I dropped her off to the New Yorker, we get out of the car, we're checking her in. I was like, Dolores, your eyes are wide open, you're pale white like a ghost, and your mouth is wide open. If there was a mirror in this lobby, I would love for you to look at yourself and see what you look like after your wake-up call. I was like, this is why Nostradamus let you know who I was. This is like, I'm supposed to help you. She already knew that, and I told her the story about the man on August 12th and what he told me. So Dolores is like, who's this new man in my life? I remember years later when her mother's dying, called the house trying to talk to Dolores. Her husband answers the phone. I introduce myself, and he's like, oh, I'm so glad she finally met you. You have helped my wife more than you could imagine. And that was a thank you. And then immediately, if you know the 4 stages of death, I immediately start saying, so when you died, what happened? Where were you? Like, I told him about myself. I says, I'm one of those guys like Daniel Brinkley, died, seen all kinds of stuff, New World stuff. I was like, did any of that happen to you? All right, I think this is the end of my Christmas present. Dolores, the world misses you, and